be tearing out carpeting and getting the job ready for tile. As you can see, we have already taken out some of the carpeting in this other room. I will show you what we're doing in this the bedroom as well. Carpeting comes up very easily. All you need is a utility knife with a sharp blade, and you want to kind of cut it into some sizes that are manageable so you can carry it out and dispose of it. So I will start by cutting these basically in 6-foot wide strips, and then we will pull it out and roll it up. Cuts very easily. Be careful of the sharp blade. And then all you need to do, the only thing that's holding it down is tack strip. So you just grab it and lift it off. And then you are ready to roll it up. So then the next step is to remove the carpet padding, which again is fairly easy to do. It's just held down by staples. Once you get the carpet padding up, is to remove all the staples, which is a little bit more time consuming and a hassle, but you need to have a good flat level surface so it's worth the time in cleaning it up. You want to be careful so that you don't get into the base trim or hit the walls. In this case they've got 2 rows of tack strip, which is unusual, and they got it kind of under the trim, so you have to be fairly careful not to damage the trim. But again, it comes up fairly easily. So we are in the adjacent room where we have already removed the carpeting, the tack strip, and cleaned it up. We're getting ready to start putting down what's called quarter-inch hardy backer board. If you don't put a backer board down before you put tile down, your grout lines will come out. So it's very important that you put down a good backer board and have it firmly attached. So this is the backer board. It's a 1/4 inch thick. It's called hardy backer board, and it's even laid out to where it shows you wherever they want a fastener. So you can either nail it or screw it. We prefer to screw it because you have less chance of it squeaking. So it's about every 8 inches on center is what you'll need to do, and we'll show you that here in a little bit. Begin the process of screwing the hardy backer board down. We're going to use 1-inch torque head screws, which will give us a good attachment. And then the hardy backer board has little indentations every place they want a screw. So it's going to be about every 8 inches along the field and about every 8 inches inside the perimeter. And that way it has a good attachment to the floor, and then you'll be good to go to start laying your tile. Job, there's always stuff that creates problems. In this case, we have 2 different heights of trim. Most of the trim in the room is about 3/4 off the floor, which is plenty of room to get our backer board under and our tile and still not have much of a space. We have a section here about 6 foot where this is too close to the floor, so I'm using what's called a Dremel, and we're using a 3/4 inch board to slide along in order to cut that off so we have an even space to slide our tile under it. So what we're doing right now is filling in the cracks with the thin set, and then we'll put mesh tape over it as well. So that way you've got a nice solid surface in which to put the tile down over. Ply tile with thin set, and the work of fixing the crack is with thin set as all. And this is the product down here. There's different types of it. This is VersaBond. Comes in a bag. It's dry powder, and then you just add a little bit of water with it, where it's not too soupy, but it's got a little bit of movement to it. Whenever you're laying tile, if you're using a small tile, width-wise like what we're using here, these are about 6 inches wide. You want a trowel that has about a 1/4 inch notch, and that will put the appropriate amount of thin set down to where it kind of squishes out evenly under the tile. If you're laying, say, like an 18 inch by 18 inch tile, or even 12 by 12, you would go to a wider notch, so it puts the appropriate amount of thin set under it to cause it to glue down in the proper way. We have a tile saw that you can rent at any rental shop in case you're not doing enough tile that you want to own your own saw. So what this is a wet saw. It's got water in it, and this is cutting. The moisture keeps the dust down, so it's better for your health.
to 6 days later.
So now that we have finished laying the tile, the next step is putting in the grout. We've chosen a dark colored grout in this instance in order to make it look like it's kind of shadowed between the boards, is to give it the look of a wood floor. And so then what you do with the grout is you mix it up, get it a little bit loose, not real thick, and then you want to put it over the grout lines, and then you take a grout trowel which kind of has a rubber edge on it, and then you will rake it across the lines at a 45-degree angle. And sometimes you'll have to work it back and forth at different 45-degree angles until you get the grout lines filled. And then you're just going to kind of let it dry a little bit and kind of get a haze on the tile. and then you go back with a damp sponge and work across the floor and clean up all the grout. And sometimes you'll have to do it 2 or 3 times until you get it all cleaned up. We let the grout dry overnight, and so then today my brother Daniel will be putting the sealant down. It's a very simple process. You just put a little bit of sealant in a bucket, take your sponge, wipe it over all the grout lines, let it dry, and voila, you're done. So that completes this project. The tile job came out very well. The homeowner is extremely excited about it. She can't wait to move back in. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.